Oh, sorry.
Yeah, no, you're good. What's up, everybody? That's going to be the opening of the episode. I'm so excited.
I did not think we started.
You didn't give me a countdown, so I was not prepared.
No
Yeah.
countdown,
What's the
man. We
countdown?
jump right into this, baby.
Apparently.
Oh, jeez.
What's up, everyone? Welcome to Velocity Movies in Review for the first episode of Lord of the Rings, The Two Towers. One of two parts, because we're doing the extended editions, and they're too long to sit here and do for 3 hours.
Got that right.
If you're up to date on the last two episodes, you already know that our sexiest Aragorn is the smile and the sword at the end of the Fellowship, right before he goes into battle.
Number one.
Currently.
Soon to be dethroned by the second movie, I think.
Oh, possibly.
Maybe the second half of the second movie.
Second half.
Yeah.
I think, I don't know, mine in this movie might dethrone it too. I don't know. But
In the first
Anyway.
half we're at so far?
yeah.
I wonder what he's saying.
Anyway, we are live on Facebook and twitch.tv/Velocity Entertainment. Still haven't quite cracked YouTube yet, but I mean, if you're watching on here, awesome. We can do all 3 hours like a man. Zach.
What did he say?
Zach in the, you can't see the chat,
Yeah,
but
we
Zach in the chat's
Yeah.
we can do all 3 hours like a man.
Oh, he's just calling us out like that. No, you're right. You're right.
He is he coming on next week or
Yes,
Monday?
Monday.
Yeah,
For
so
sure.
that's cool. He'll be on the regular episode. That'll be fun.
Yeah.
Yeah. Like I said, this is Velocity Movies and Review under the Velocity Entertainment umbrella. You can follow both at Velocity Entertainment on Facebook, YouTube, Twitch, and you can listen day after on podcast services all over the world. I am your host, Kyle Leonard, alongside my two wonderful co-hosts who also love these movies as much as I do, Tanner Else and Michael Otamende.
I saw a very controversial post by Tanner on Facebook saying Lord of the Rings was the best trilogy, which I agree with.
Ain't no freaking controversy.
I don't think
That's
it's.
the
I don't
truth.
think the post wasn't the best trilogy. He said it was better than Harry Potter.
was
right?
that
I just said Lord of the Rings was better than Harry Potter.
Yeah,
Oh, okay.
I thought that was the post. Which
I still agree.
fact?
Which I
Big,
still
big
agree.
old facts.
I'm
Big
here
old
to say that I think this might be one of the best trilogies ever. Like
I think it is the best trilogy ever.
I can't even think of anything to compare it to.
Yeah.
Twilight.
That's 4.
Some people say the old Star Wars, but that's not really a trilogy technically.
Not like the original Star Wars. I guess the original was at the time.
At the
but
time, it was a
now
trilogy.
there's like 9 movies and spin-offs.
Yeah, right.
Is it like anything after like 4 or 5 just becomes the saga?
Yeah.
Something like that.
So, Lord of the Rings, The Two Towers, premiered on December 18th, 2002, with a filming budget of $94 million. It's a lot of money to film a movie.
Pocket change, really.
Peter Jackson needed helicopter aerial footage of all of New Zealand for
All
every
of New
scene.
Zealand.
Yeah, pretty much.
It grossed $921 million, which made it the 4th highest grossing film at the time in 2002. Wild. The extended edition runtime is 3 hours and 42 minutes. Holy buckets.
Glad we're doing this in parts.
Right.
Yeah, like I said, that would have been rough, a 4-hour podcast, because we go off on tangents too, so
Yeah.
it's way better to break it up.
It is way better.
Ends up being an hour and a half, maybe 2 if we get off.
Yeah,
Definitely.
screw you, Zach.
But
Yeah. Zach.
we're plenty manly.
Can't even see if Zach said anything. Sorry, Zach. I don't have my computer this time.
Yeah, I got my laptop set up for these boys to kind of see a little bit, but
But I'm blind.
because I got a dumb laptop and mine doesn't have an HDMI port to connect to the TV. Stupid thing. So
We start off.
we start off pretty much right where Gandalf left us,
Right where he
essentially.
In the hills of Moria.
Yeah, in the Mines of Moria, we get the
That was me.
oh, sorry. I was like, oh, I muted that. I know I muted that.
I was looking at the live stream.
But we get the last words of Gandalf as, he's telling the Balrog as Durin's Bane that he cannot pass. He is a servant of the secret fire, wielder of the flame of Anor. You shall not pass. And then,
I think it's the best way to start the second movie too, is because
dude,
towards the end of the first one, we're like, okay, well, we just took a gigantic L in losing Gandalf.
Yeah.
It's like, let's start the second one by bringing him back.
Yeah. How sad was everyone at the end of the first? Then they're like, oh, you know.
Pretty much.
Yeah, no. And so we zoom into the mountain and we see the Balrog fall as we did in the end of the Fellowship, and grab Gandalf, yank him down. But this time we get to follow Gandalf as he falls down.
Best sword catch ever.
Best sword catch ever,
of
which
all time.
which kind of reinforces your theory from last week that the only reason he didn't climb back up onto the thing was because he dropped his sword. And he's like, well, I can't leave that.
Yeah. True.
And Glamdring, right?
Yeah, Glamdring, the faux hammer.
You know what's
Can't
funny?
leave that.
They leave us on another cliffhanger right away too. They left us on a cliffhanger at the end of number 1, and then right at the beginning of number 2, they're like, because at the end of the scene, we don't know if Gandalf survives or not.
Right.
We don't actually see him.
Yeah,
beat
we
the
don't
Balrog.
see it yet.
Not until we get the
You get
story
a really
later.
Cool scene
But,
of the water that looks like ground.
Yeah.
And they hit it.
Yeah.
Yep, and then they fall pretty much into the depths,
Frodo
hit
wakes
some
up
water.
and goes, Gandalf.
Yeah, I don't know where they were. I guess there's some underworld or something down there. I don't know.
I was about to say, yeah, Middle Earth, and I guess this was like upper, middle,
Upper.
lower Earth.
Upper, lower.
Because he fought at, what did he say,
Yeah.
the highest
Point.
peak of the lowest dungeon?
Yeah.
Whatever, dude.
Yeah, whatever.
Figure it out.
Figure it out. Where were you?
Yeah.
And there was snow there too. I'm like, it snows in the
Yeah, I'm
underworld.
like, there's a snow in this dungeon on the highest peak? I don't
I just don't know.
So Frodo wakes up after reliving Gandalf falling, when Boromir grabs him and holds him back, all of that. Gandalf! Worst Professor X ever.
Also, just wake Sam up like rude.
But yeah, also rude.
Can you keep your nightmares about Gandalf to yourself?
Yep, so we get a shot of Mordor now.
Yep.
As we're like, wow, we don't want to get in. It's the one place in Middle Earth that you don't want to get any closer to, he says.
It's the one place we're trying to get to, and it's the one place we just can't
Just
get.
can't get. Yep.
I like the way Gimli described the area that they're in. And after that, it's like a labyrinth of razor sharp rocks. And I'm like,
it was true.
okay, yeah, you were wrong.
Definitely right. Yeah, and he's to which Frodo says, Sam says, I don't think Mr. Gandalf meant for us to come this way, but here we are. It's too late. He didn't mean for a lot of things, Sam, but they did.
I'm wondering what their random side tangent. What was their plan when the Fellowship got to the Black Gates? Were they just gonna fight their way in? Like if the Fellowship stayed together?
Yeah, that's what I was saying. I don't know if Gandalf actually knew about that kind of back area through there. I mean, he had to have had some kind of plan because there's no way you got 9 people.
I don't know if they
Four
did
of
have
them
a
being
plan.
hobbits.
I don't know if they did have a plan for that whole group. It's like we're just gonna fight our way in and run to the mountain.
Pretty much.
I don't know. Like I don't know what their original plan was. But
I'll tell you, even though Kyle disagrees. Fly on the Eagles, bro.
Everybody disagrees. They've explained why that
Yeah.
won't work.
it won't work.
It would totally work. I don't care what anybody says.
No, just wouldn't.
That incredible
Fuck
thing.
you, Blake.
It wouldn't work. Math is math.
Math is math.
Math is math. Frodo sees the Eye of Sauron here, clutches the ring, kind of goes into pain.
Yep.
We see that. Sam's kind of comforting him.
He's poisoned. Let's not forget.
Yeah, he is indeed. Frodo asks if we have any food left, and we do.
Lembas bread.
We have lambus bread. It's more lambus bread. And look, as he digs deeper into his bag, even more lambus bread.
How sick would you get of it?
I also like that in the first one they kind of went because they don't like in the original versions they don't tell you that you can have like one chunk of lemon bread and it's enough to keep you full for like a whole day.
Yeah.
And Legolas goes off and kind of describes how it works. But in the original one you don't get it, so you're just like these dudes lived off of 6 pieces of bread
Yeah.
for 4 months.
Yeah, you don't understand.
Yeah, it doesn't make a whole lot of sense.
That was extended, that scene, or
Yeah,
what?
the extended one when they're on the boats leaving.
Yeah, and he said I had 5 or whatever.
And Pippin, I had 5.
Yeah, that was not
5. How many did you eat? 5.
Yeah, that was not in the original.
Yeah.
Yeah, the food's not bad, for being foreign. Sam says.
I mean, they eat more than. I mean, they have those conies. We'll get to that. The rabbits. Okay. They have more than just lambda spread. I'll just say that.
I mean, they smell something here at the very beginning,
They sure do.
and then they
Steak.
realize it's a golem.
Yep. So we smell them. we're not alone,
Mm-hmm.
as we can smell. Frodo can smell it.
Same smell from the Mines of Moria.
What if he
So
just
we,
took one shower? Just one shower. Too much shower.
So next we cut to Sam and Frodo sleeping,
Oh yeah.
Sleeping.
pretending to sleep as Gollum comes down, calls them thieves, filthy little thieves, hunting for the precious, all that good. I'm hooked on something here. I gotta get my. There we go. Calls them little filthy thieves. The precious is ours. Curse them. We hate them. It's ours, and we want it.
Right when he gets close, like yank his ass down.
Yes, sir. We ambush him, yank him down.
he kind of beats the crap out of both of them.
He kind of does.
He goes a little bit of Gracie style.
He's a little wiry, but he's pretty strong.
Yeah.
It's that diet of nothing but fish.
He about got
1,000 years.
a knockout off his back. He about did Kevin Holland. He was off his back, did a kick up.
Kevin Holland. He had,
So, yeah,
he had both hooks in on the rear naked choke. Like he had some legit jujitsu.
Yes, yeah. Gollum was the first
No
voice
doubt.
Gracie.
He
It was
was.
the first.
His
So-
wispy hairs were just flowing in the wind.
So Gollum beats these two for a little bit until he's on Sam, choking him, and Frodo pulls out Sting. Says, "You recognize this bad boy?" He
This
puts
is
it-
something nobody caught though, because nobody caught the first time watching through. That's the reason he had run into Sting before was because of Bilbo.
right.
But unless you had read the books, you have no idea what Frodo's talking about here,
Right. I
or
know.
unless you've seen the.
Well, I
Hobbit.
mean, I guess they kind of
They leave you hints.
Yeah, they I don't want to say they went into it, but they did say like Frodo found the ring in Gollum's lair.
Yeah.
In the first movie,
True.
but
Bilbo.
I was about to say.
Bilbo, yeah.
I guess if you're really
Well, and then
perceptive,
it's-
you kind of know what's going on.
And then Gandalf says real quick in the Fellowship that Bilbo showed mercy on Gollum,
Yeah.
and that mercy could prove to affect everything. So it's implied that
spoiler.
Spoiler.
Anyway, we tie him up with the elvish rope, which burns. It
Does
burns.
burn.
It
It burns
freezes.
us.
Nasty elves twisted it. Take it off us. Burns him. And just yanking him along like a dog as we go.
Also, I don't know, like you really notice it, but it's not that tight around
No.
his neck. He could have just lifted it off at like any time.
At any point. Maybe it burns so bad he can't even touch it with his hand. I don't know.
I don't know,
Maybe.
Anyway, Gollum promises to be nice if we just take this rope up, and obviously there's no promise that he can make that Frodo can trust, as he says.
He did
Agrees to
grab
be
it with
their,
it. Yes,
agrees
he
to be
did
their
grab it.
guide and to bring them to the Black Gates.
Yep.
Yep. He swears on the precious. Oh.
Precious.
The ring is treacherous. It will hold you to your word, Frodo says, as he agrees to take the rope off.
Not the
of his
most
neck.
wise words, or not true at all. Also.
If anything, the ring is going to make you do
Yeah.
the opposite.
Yeah, right? Right. So great wisdom coming out Frodo there.
Yeah, pretty much.
Not.
This is what, and here's the one thing that I really enjoyed that I think gets overlooked about Gollum's character is like you can see when he's got like the big doe eyes that he's like he's okay, and then you see when he like gets mad and he switches over to like that other.
Yeah, Smeagol and Gollum.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Smeagol and Gollum
The
are
way that
both of them.
the way that there's like slight differences between you can tell who's talking. I really like the way they
Yeah.
do that.
They almost go for like the cute.
Yeah.
Like obviously you can't really make him that cute, but they obviously try and make him
try.
more like cute.
They give him
when
the
he's
big eyes and
Smeagol.
they make him blink a lot.
I'll say they make you sympathetic towards him.
Yes.
And then they make you hate him 5 seconds later.
But as we know,
what a great job.
Sam doesn't believe him and yanks him off of the rock and
Well, snapped his neck, dude.
about breaks his
Right?
neck.
Yeah.
You're kind of brutal.
He thinks he's trying to pull a trick, which I mean maybe he is. Who knows?
Well,
But he knows the way to Mordor, and we need Gollum's help. So he will lead us to the Black Gate, as Frodo tells Gollum.
so does Gollum just know the shortcuts to everywhere because he's been alive so long? He just
I assume so. He's lived in those
Yeah.
mountains, right?
He didn't live in those mountains. He lived in the Misty Mountains, which would have been
yeah.
north of the Mines of Moria.
I was about to say he might just know everything though because he's been alive so long. I don't know.
Well, he's been in Mordor more than once.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I swear that's about to fall off the edge. Is it not?
Not anymore.
Not anymore.
We fixed it. Yes, we did.
Yes, we did.
So now we cut to Merry and Pippin again, who
Oh yeah.
Pippin is like calling to Merry, who's like unconscious with the cut above his eye.
Who was faking, by the way? What a dick.
What a dick.
Well,
Did we ever figure out what that stuff was that they like poured in his throat?
I think it was just blood.
I think it's grog.
Oh.
They say it in the scene. It's
Oh.
like, some grog.
For a second, I thought it was human blood, like because
No, I
orcs
think-
drink human.
I think he
blood.
says it. I have the script here, but I think
Oh.
he says it.
It looks like motor oil.
Yeah.
Like, it did not
Give him
look
some
good.
diesel.
Yeah, pretty
Give him
much.
some-
It did not look good.
The Uruk-hai stop. One puts his hand up to signal everybody to stop, and he's like, "What is it? What do you smell?"
Maggots.
Flesh.
Oh,
Flesh.
oh no.
Man flesh.
Oh, I thought they ran into the orc maggots first. Never mind.
No.
No, absolutely.
And then yes, they realize that Aragorn's probably chasing them, and he's like, "They picked up our trail. Let's move." So they start moving faster.
Mary rips off his little.
The little leaf on his
Brooch.
on his
Yeah.
cloak.
Would you call it
His
a
cloak.
brooch?
A brooch, yeah, that sounds
Sure,
right. On
yeah.
his cloak, and
We'll go with
throws it onto the grass, which gets stomped in as leaving a trail for Aragorn, essentially. And then we cut to probably one of the contenders for sexiest Aragorn for this half, where he's just laying on the ground with his ear to the ground.
Oh, this
He's
is
like,
what he's
If
talking
you're so
about.
excited about this competition, I forget cute things that he does, and you're just like, so
is
sexy
that-
Aragorn.
I think
Dude,
that's
I
why
love
we did
him.
this whole thing.
He's just laying there and he's just chilling. And he's like, "The pace is quickened." Like, of course it has. Of course you know that.
They smell you.
I love it. They must have caught our scent, so they hurry it up and chase after him. This whole like running part is just so funny to me with Gimli.
Yeah, he's like, we're natural sprinters.
We're natural sprinters, very dangerous over short distances.
Right? You got to give it up to Gimli for running a marathon with those two.
See, like, and you think about it too. Like, when I look at Gimli, I'm thinking he's a little chonkier of a dwarf, and then you go to like the hobbits, and they're all like buff dwarves. Like the one dude's got what is it, like the ball, that like half bald dude with the long beard, the black one.
Oh wait,
Super.
who's that?
I can't remember his name. Super tank though. Like he's the biggest out of the dwarves. If you look at them all like, in Bilbo's house.
Oh,
Right.
Okay. Yeah, fair enough.
Fair enough, yeah. We're basically following these guys as they go, and then we find the Lorien Leaf, to which Aragorn says, "Not idly do Lorien Leaves fall."
Yeah.
They may yet be alive, Legolas says. But they are less than a day ahead of us.
Would that be
So-
hilarious if 10 yards further they just see like hobbit skeletons? And they might yet be alive, and then like, oh, that's where the
And then
leaf
somebody's
came-
like, "Wait, what's
Oh wait.
Oh.
Oh.
So this is funny because you think like the Gimli joke is done, like
Yeah.
you've gotten the payoff for the running. But Aragorn's like, "They're less than a day ahead of us. Come." And Legolas says, "Come on, Gimli, let's run. We're gaining on them." And we go back into the same joke, and I love it.
Just keep making fun of Gimli.
We come up over the pass, and we see Rohan, man, over the distance, and it's big, it's spacious.
Home of the
It's-
Horse Lords.
It's beautiful. It's home of the Horse Lords. But there's something strange at work here. Some
something
evil
evil.
gives speed to these creatures, sets its will against us. Legolas runs up onto the ridge, and then we get another pretty awesome, famous line.
The best line ever.
Legolas, what do you elf I see?
Is it northwest or northeast that they turned?
Northeast.
Northeast.
They're taking.
The hobbits to Isengard.
They're taking the hobbits to Isengard. And if you're from middle school like we are,
Yeah, true.
there's a song.
There's a
that
song that goes with.
goes on for 10
That
hours.
has a pretty nasty beat that goes along with
Now
it.
I can't listen
slaps.
to Taters taking the hobbits to Isengard. Any of the things from the song.
Oh, that's good.
Yeah, we realize it's Saruman who's at work here. So who do we cut to but Saruman, of course.
Pretty much.
Or his, what is it, Tower of Orthanc.
Or think.
And
Orthanc.
it looked like he was using the vision orbs to.
Talk to Sauron, right?
Yeah.
That's what it would seem like.
Palantir.
So Sauron has one of the orbs, it seems, and
There's 9 of them, or 7
yeah,
of them, right?
it's like seven. But Gandalf was saying we don't know who has them. Apparently, we know one of the missing ones is that Sauron has it.
Doesn't don't we find? Well, I guess we find out in the Hobbit, like later when the Hobbit movies came out, that Radagast, didn't he have one too?
Oh, I think maybe.
Maybe.
He did.
I thought they said Radagast had one, but
Yeah. Radagast is
which would make sense. He's a wizard.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He's pretty cool.
Yeah, we cut to Saruman here, who's talking to the Dark Lord Sauron, talking about, together we'll rule Middle Earth. Like, Like the second he wins, like he's gonna let you
Yeah.
live. I bet, right?
Yeah, there's no together. What?
An orc comes up to Sauron and says basically, "Hey, we can't really produce anymore because we don't have fuel." And he's like, "Well, what do you need?" He's like, "Wood would work really great." And he's like,
It's like we're literally right next to a forest, bro.
Yeah, I like how these orcs are not critical thinkers. He's like,
No.
you get a demotion. You-
"The old world will burn in the fires of industry. The forest will fall. A new order will rise. We will drive the machine of war with the sword and spear of the iron fists of the two orcs. We have only to remove those who oppose us."
That's where you're wrong, bucko. Worst thing he could have done was cut down
Yeah.
those trees.
Oh man.
Jeez.
Beginning of the end for him.
We're talking to the Dunelanders now as they're
Yes.
as they're making the oath.
The wild
Essentially, he's talking about how Rohan, pushed them up into the mountains as they cut their hands and swear the oath to Sauron.
By the way, Sauron's not going to let you guys live either. All these human people that are making oaths with Sauron, he's like, he's going to kill you when this is all done.
Well, the thing too is he like uses them to get what he wants, but like he legit says like there's before a battle, he's like there will be no dawn for men.
Yeah, he's gonna kill all humankind.
Yeah.
So I don't
And apparently wizards don't fall in the category of men.
know. Didn't you say
But-
they're myriads or something? Wizards, myriads. What is their name?
Oh yeah.
It says it right at the
Yeah,
beginning,
you
but
said the word for I can't remember the word
I
for
forgot
it.
the word
Yeah.
too. Sauron pretty much says that we'll start with Rohan. So saddle up, suit up.
Saddle up.
Okay, my question is, why would they? No, that makes sense because Isengard's closer to Rohan, but Mordor's closer to Gondor. So why
Yes.
why didn't they start with Gondor? I don't know.
Well, it's kind of one of those things where Rohan is a big, vast area, whereas Gondor is basically just
Yeah,
that two like cities and then a little outlying areas.
yeah,
So it's a bigger area that you have to take over before you can kind of put all your forces into that little area.
true. And they have warg riders, which helps for the open space.
I suppose.
Yeah, so we cut to a woman putting her kids on a couple of horse, sending them off to Endoris to raise the alarms. You'll go much faster with just you two. Slaps the horse. They don't want to go. They're being real kids about it. Like, maybe you should grow up. Orcs are about to attack.
Yeah, maybe you should grow up. They're like, we want to stay here with you. Okay, just throw it at the orc and then
Like,
you
do
get
you
on the
not
horse.
see those dudes with swords killing people? Go.
Yeah,
She says she'll find them there, and they ride off as the Uruk-hai enter the village and start burning everything in sight.
spoiler: she did not find them. I don't think she got out. I don't think.
I feel like she does.
Oh, does she?
Yeah, I feel like she does.
She sees them at Helm's Deep.
Oh, yeah, that's right.
Yeah, I feel like she
Oh.
does. Yeah.
Stop giving away spoilers.
Stop trying to make this a sad story, all right?
Yeah. I do remember.
Rohan is ready to fall, says Saruman to the Dark Lord, my lord. There's a group of horsemen right up to Endoris. Ooh, Aylmer.
Oh yeah. This is where we find out Theoden's son is mortally injured.
Yes, sir. They find him in the battle in the ruins. Find the king's son, and we find him and get him back to the town. Eowyn runs hastily up the stairs to find him because it's her cousin, right?
Yep.
Yeah.
And here's where we meet one of just the nicest guys you'll ever meet. Wormtongue.
He's my favorite character. Him and Lord Denethor are my two favorites.
Oh,
Oh man,
might
Wormtongue,
just so
Grima, Wormtongue, man.
He's kind of cute too.
Ugh.
I'm surprised he doesn't get the girl.
Duh.
I'm just- Anyway, go
They did
ahead.
a real good job of making him just look sickishly gray.
I told
Yeah.
these guys.
Yeah.
I told these guys on what was it, Thursday when we watched it, or whenever we watched it, that Grima Wormtongue is played by Brad Dwarf, who also does the voice of Chucky in Child's Play.
Oh, jeez.
So he's really good at just being a jerk, man.
He did jerk.
You mean like a creep?
Yeah.
Also, what a dead giveaway. Like, oh, what were you promised by Saruman? And he just like looks over at his sister, like,
Oh,
Bruh.
gross, dude.
Bruh.
Yeah, so immediately meeting this dude, we know that this dude is
Also,
stinking.
Your name
for-
is Wormtongue. Did nobody see this coming? Nobody.
right?
not a single person.
That is-
But also that whole montage where they're burning Fangorn Forest, essentially, that's all added.
Oh yeah, that was
Oh.
all extra.
Mm-hmm.
Even the conversation that he has with the orc about the wood was extra.
Yeah, finding
They probably
Theodred.
could have left
That was
that
all
out.
extended too.
Now we know how dumb orcs are. When they you don't see all those trees? Okay. I see why they took that out in the
We also kind of realize here too that Eowyn is about to die because after she lifts up his blanket and sees all the blood, that she realizes that this is about the end for him. Not a whole
Yeah,
lot.
he's not doing so hot.
Not a whole lot of coming
best
back.
time
after
to
that.
flirt with somebody though is when their brothers die.
But pretty much, yeah, we get the
Best.
immediately when we meet him, we're like, oh, this dude's straight up sitting in Saruman's lap. Like, what has he promised you? Looks at his sister, and Carl Urban's just like, for too long you've been wanting that, and that ain't happening.
No, that ain't.
Oh my gosh. I always flirt with people at funerals. I think it's the best.
You're a terrible person. I always flirt with people at funerals.
That's basically what he was doing.
I mean, kind of. Well, I mean, hospital bed. I guess.
Hospital.
Well, then you realize too just how much of like for lack of a better term, punk bitch that he is. He's terrified when dude's got his hand around his neck. His dudes come up and pull him away. He's like, "Oh, now you're banished. What's up?
What's up?
Like, now you're gonna be tough. Now the dude's hand's not around your neck."
Yeah.
Yeah.
So now he's banished Eomer with the signed order by the king. Has him seen out, and he is banished from the city, unfortunately.
Or from the kingdom of Rohan.
Yeah.
Yeah, from the whole kingdom of Rohan.
Well, yes, but,
But
we find him in Rohan later.
Well,
so.
and here's
With
the
his
thing, too,
loyal
is-
band of.
Yeah, I was gonna say all the riders of Rohan all went with him. Like they're loyal to him.
I think it
not
was
the
like
king.
I think it was just his battalion that was loyal to him that went with him.
I thought he had all of them.
Oh, did he have all of them?
Not all of them, no.
I thought it was just like his battalion. I
No,
don't
when we
know.
find him later, it's just like a small battalion, and then after that, in the next part, it'll be all of the riders, essentially.
Never mind.
Once Theoden answers, or yeah. Keep breathing. That's the key. Breathe. We cut back to the Uruk-hai marching across plains, still with the hobbits, and Aragorn and Legolas and Gimli still following them. Legolas says they run as if the very whips of their masters were behind them.
Also,
moving quick.
They definitely got like bodybuilders to act as these Uruk-hais. Because have you
Well,
seen
like,
their
You
thighs?
get the orcs and the goblins, and they're all like these little pitiful-looking creatures.
Yeah.
But
Right.
apparently, when you crossbreed them, they just turn into freaks of nature.
Yeah,
Like,
there's some
that
genetic.
makes
There's
sense.
some genetic code that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Saruman just unlocked the code for orc breeding.
Yep, so we stop as nightfall rises. The orcs are like, "Hey, we're not going any further until we breathe, dude. This sucks. I don't want to do. I don't want to do this." He says, "Get a fire going." Here we get the exchange. That's like
They want to eat them.
they want to eat them. They don't need their legs to survive. So on and so forth. They're like, they have the ring. Saruman wants them, and they're like, "Oh man."
They call it a secret elven weapon, is what I think he says it is, isn't it? Like they have.
Yes, an elvish weapon.
An elvish
Yeah.
weapon, yep.
And then he's pretty much like, they think we have the ring. He's like, shut
Yeah,
up.
dude,
As soon as they
shut up.
realize we don't, we're dead.
we do have.
So maybe don't tell them.
We have 10 rings each of us.
Also, like, I'm not gonna call this like a loop or like a plot hole, but you don't think Saruman could have just been like, "Look, they got a ring. Get the ring. Kill
Well,
him."
Okay, so here's I thought about that when we were watching. Here's why I don't think he did that. Uruk-hai and orcs are pretty like selfish and vicious. I think they would. I think if he told them you're looking for a ring, one of them would have just stolen it and ran. Because you saw how.
Well, it blows my mind. They're carrying these two hobbits, and they don't like search them
yeah,
or anything.
no, you're
Double
right.
Throw them on the back.
You're right.
Just to double check, man.
I think that was more of a loophole that they didn't search him. But I think it was Saruman definitely didn't want to tell him that they had a ring. He probably just said leave him alive.
Yeah.
You know.
Well, I was going to say, if men are so weak to the ring, what's an Uruk-hai?
Yeah. I mean, think they almost killed each other just trying to eat the guys.
Trying to eat, yeah. Basically, yeah, we get a big skirmish. One orc tries to come up and get
your favorite part.
Yep, get
Just
the
a little
orcs
off
from
the
behind. He turns around, lobs his head off, says, "Meat's back on the menu, boys." How does he know there's a menu? We talked about that in a previous episode
Yeah.
of Velocity Entertainment. Go watch it.
Come on.
YouTube.com/Velocity Entertainment.
Biggest plot holes.
Biggest plot holes.
Yeah, go find the biggest plot holes.
Does that come in pints?
I
I don't
wish.
know. I wish.
I wish. Some grog.
You tall boys.
Comes in pints.
Basically now everything just kind of breaks loose as like a bunch of horses sack this like camp of Uruk-hai
They
and
really
just start
just run for
slaughtering
them,
them, dude. Merry and Pippin decide this is going to be their only chance to go, so they get up, start crawling away, so on and so forth, fall over, and then they look up, and a big old horse foot come down right on their face, and then we cut back to Aragorn and Legolas and them.
Oh yeah. I see it like I know how the scene ends, so I always think it ends there. But I'm like, oh yeah, I forget we have to wait to get the freaking result
I know.
later. Yeah.
Lord of the Rings does that a lot. They leave you on a lot of cliffhangers where you're just like, what?
Luckily for us, they always kind of come through and close them up.
Yeah,
Thankfully.
true.
Legolas looks up at the red sun rising, says, "Blood has been spilled this night." Basically, we see. Is this where we see the hunters giving chase, right? Or
The hunters.
What do you mean?
there's like 3 hunters chasing an Uruk-hai, right?
I don't think so.
Are we?
I don't remember it.
3 hunters chasing on.
I figured this was where they kind of started cutting across country, and then all of a sudden you hear the riders of Rohan, and they hide, and then they come out and they meet them. Isn't that kind of where we're at?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, all the riders come out, and basically, he's like, "Riders of Rohan, what news from the Mark?"
I like how
Another line that I like in this movie. What news from the Mark?
But then they all get really
That's not how he
aggressive.
says it. They do. They get really. What business does an elf, a man, and a dwarf have in the Rittermark? Speak quickly.
I think it was kind of overly
really-
aggressive with how outnumbered they were. It's like, yeah, because we're gonna do something here.
Yes. Give me your name, Horsemaster, and I shall give you mine. I really, really like this moment because this is like the beginning of the Legolas Gimli friendship here.
Yeah,
As we've been together now for however many months, and they're actually starting to like each other.
it all
He's like, "I would
started-
cut off your head, dwarf, if it stood but a little higher from the ground."
Also, how quick was he to just
Yeah, that was
bam
so
right
right.
in
man.
his face?
Yeah, ridiculous. You would die before your stroke fell, Legolas says as he knocks an arrow and puts it right in
It's been a long
Eomer's
journey
face.
from him calling him a goblin so many years ago to him being friends now.
A wee lad Gimli.
Looks like a goblin.
What is this mutated goblin creature or whatever he says? Disgusting.
And now they're friends.
I am Aragorn, son of Arathorn. This is Gimli, son of Gloin, and Legolas of the Woodland Realm. We are friends of Rohan and of Theoden, your king.
Also, I think this is one of the first times you get Aragorn actually introducing himself
Yeah.
as Aragorn, like Isildur's heir, basically.
The first time.
Yeah.
I believe this
What?
is the first time.
Why didn't he introduce Legolas as also like son to the throne?
Because doesn't he like discommunicate himself
Oh,
essentially
yeah.
when he
Oh.
leaves at the end of the Hobbit?
Oh, he kind of does, yeah.
In the movies,
Okay, so maybe that's why he said of the Woodland Realm instead
Yeah.
of son of
son of whatever.
the king.
So technically, he's from that area with that elf queen, right?
No, not Lorien. He's from the one with the dude that rides the big moose.
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
the dude that rides the big.
I think
moose.
I think there's different woodland.
There's like three because there's like the Rivendell area, there's Lorien,
Right.
and then there's the Woodland Realm. Okay,
Yeah.
that makes more sense now.
Yeah.
Yeah, wood elves, I think.
And I think they're closer to Lake Town.
Yeah,
Yeah, that's
Yeah.
what it was.
they're the ones that abandon the dwarves when Smaug attacks.
Dicks.
Eomer pretty much fills him in. Says, Saruman's poisoned our king. Poisoned his mind, and my company and those loyal to Rohan were banished. The White Wizard is cunning. He walks here and there. They say as an old man, hooded and cloaked, and everywhere his spies slip past our nets. So he's doing a pretty good job of tanking Rohan, as we're figuring out now. Aragorn says we're not spies. We track a party of Uruk-hai westward across the plains. They've taken 2 of our friends captive. The Uruk-hais were destroyed in the night.
2 hobbits.
2 hobbits were with them. Did you see them?
They would be
We
small,
left-
only children to your eyes.
We left none
We
alive.
left none alive.
And then you get that, they go up there or whatever, and they show them the pile. It's like over there. And you get that nasty tongue hanging out. Or
Yeah.
his head on the spike.
Was that necessary for the tongue to be hanging?
Yeah, I didn't need to see that much tongue, dude. Look like Gene Simmons.
Yeah, we get to the pile of bodies. They're all burnt. We find one of the hobbits' little belts, his wee belt, in the blaze. Looks like it's not good. Looks like they're dead. Aragorn freaks out, kicks a helmet across the
I knew this was coming, dude.
Freaks out, kicks a helmet across the ground. Fun fact about that: he actually broke his toe kicking the helmet, and the scream that he belts out is a real one.
Nice.
We were watching the
I was
movie.
waiting for you to do the face like.
We were watching the movie, and that part came up, and they're watching it, and they look at me, and I'm like,
Yeah, pretty much, dude.
because it's a running joke now. Everybody knows about that fun. Everybody knows about all the fun facts in Lord of the Rings now.
Should we just point out how many times Aragorn gets hurt or almost dies in these movies?
Yeah.
Yeah, gets a knife thrown at him, breaks his toe. Probably more than that.
Yeah. He's dying all the time.
Yeah, pretty much. So this is where we
Almost dying.
find some ropes on the ground.
Yeah, we get our little like.
Oh, this is gonna be sexy as Aragorn. Maybe, probably not. I don't know. I might vote for it though. I might. When he's doing detective work, he's going all Sherlock Holmes. Like,
Yeah.
He's going all Native American.
yeah,
Like, look, follow the footprints and listen to the ground.
yeah.
Navajo.
This,
Navajo, yeah.
this has to be up there, I think, for me.
I don't disagree. There's not a lot he does in these movies that I don't
It's
think is
just not
sexy.
going to overtake the holding the sword like this against a bunch of Uruk-hai by himself. Not taking my number one spot.
All right,
No
all
fucking
right.
way, bro.
All right. Jeez.
Uh,
But basically, we're
Yeah.
getting flashbacks of what
Yeah, we're
actually
getting-
happens.
yeah, running in sync, which is a really cool way to shoot this. As
Yeah.
we're walking in the daytime, we're flashing back to the night
nighttime.
and seeing how
Big
these
props to
things
the
happen.
directors of these movies. Like, the directors were geniuses.
Yeah,
Peter
Maybe.
Jackson is wonderful.
yeah, director.
Director, sorry. Why did I say directors?
Singular.
Well, there's always a co-director. but
Yeah,
I don't-
there's a lot of
And
people that
producers
work
and
on
writers.
Yeah.
and all that too, but whatever.
this. A lot of people that
We
work
give
on
Peter
this.
Jackson all the credit. He's our king.
Yeah, he's our king. We pledge our allegiance.
I would have followed you.
I would have.
So we basically follow the trail of these hobbits who have gotten away from the horse stomp that came down, cut their binds, crawled away, and got into Fangorn Forest and away from the slaughter.
And got followed by that one creepy dude.
Yes, sir. Fangorn, what madness drove them in there?
Oh, that was we talked about that line. We're like, what do you mean? What madness? Do you see what's happening over
Right,
here?
right.
I'm like, what did you? That's a
Where were
good
they
point
supposed to go?
That's a good point to bring up, Gimli. Because
Gimli.
like, what are they going to stay and just like maybe just get slaughtered by
What madness
horsemen?
drove them
Like
in there?
what?
What do you think? But yeah, so Gimli's a dum dum.
Yeah, so dumb. So dumb sometimes, but we get into the forest and we're back with Merry and Pippin. They know that the orc has followed him and they're trying to lose him, but they keep hearing chattering and stuff around them, creaking, moving. Something's going on. What is going on? They're like, trees, climb a tree.
Yeah.
As Grinshank is his name, the orc that follows him.
Oh, of course they have a name for him. Just like
Yep,
like they didn't name Lurtz. They should have named Lurtz in the movie. Come on. You have
I don't
to
think
read-
they name him in this movie either,
No,
though.
they don't name any of the orcs. You have to read the books to know their
Right.
names.
Yeah.
But yeah, he comes out. He basically says he's going to rip out their guts. So they climb a tree.
Which, by the way, like if you're climbing a tree because like there's a wolf or something, I get it. The wolf's not going to climb the tree.
Yeah, but an
this
orc.
dude's got hands and feet and opposable thumbs. He's going to climb
I
up there
think
too.
all of this happens so quick because
Yeah.
like as soon as they get up to the tree, Treebeard wakes up. Like
But also, how do they think they lost him? Do you remember where he's like, "We lost him. He knows what tree you climbed up, and you didn't look beneath. You didn't even look below.
Let's look everywhere except for straight down.
He saw you climb up. What do you mean you lost him? Like,
I mean, I think
You see me climb the
I
tree.
think he even grabs Mary's leg and like pulls on it
yeah,
or
he
whatever.
does. He does.
Because Mary falls, and then he's sitting there, and that's when you see Treebeard's eye open.
Eye open, yep.
And that's when he freaks out, like falls. This is also the part, you guys, I told you how mad I was. He's standing over top of him with a sword.
Oh, yeah.
And then all of a sudden, Treebeard's foot comes down, and he's 6 feet away from him.
I did notice that.
I didn't like that. That's-
But Kyle brought up a good point. What if he was like crawling away and you didn't
It
see
shows that he was crawling backwards as he was coming at it.
Yeah,
so that's why I give it
How'd
a
you
little
get that
bit
far
of
away?
Hobbits are quick.
Hobbits are good at that.
Hobbits are quick and they're very light and dense. So yeah, they're just like
Like,
Can you say it for me
6
one more time?
yeah.
no, you only get 2.
You only get 2 of those.
That's funny.
Treebeard wakes up and scares was it Pippin?
Pippin.
No, Mary falls.
Mary falls, Pippin's still
Yep.
in the tree. Yep.
Pippin's in the tree. Mary sprints backwards, falls over, and he's scooching away. He
Whatever.
makes it about 6 feet or so before
Whatever.
Treebeard takes a step and squashes the.
Do you like how the orc had to tell him his plans first? I'm gonna gut you like he has to go over his whole evil plan
Right.
before he does it.
Yep, evil guy tropes.
Evil guy tropes.
But yes, he crushes Grimshank like a bug,
Yep.
and picks up
Very nice little squelching noise that you hear there. And just squishes him.
pretty much, and they're pretty much just in awe that the tree is talking. Which, I mean, how could you not be? They're like, the tree is talking. Oh God!
Yeah.
And they realize that he's an ent, as he tells them he's an ent, and then he's like, which is a shepherd of the forest, essentially.
Tree herder.
Living in that world though, would you like? I wouldn't even be surprised at that point. They've already seen like a giant octopus try and pull him in, and they've seen like a Balrog.
Right.
And
like,
the-
why is this
The
beyond
tree
them?
talking's the crazy thing.
Yeah. If I saw the tree talking, I'd be like, of course, yeah.
Well, and they clearly know, what a tree herder is because they immediately like have their own name
Yeah.
for it.
Yeah.
Pippin says, "Don't talk to it, Mary. Don't encourage it."
Don't
Like, what's it
encourage-
gonna shut up? Like, get out of my face, dude. And
If we
then,
pretend it's not real, maybe it'll go back to being not real.
he says his name is Treebeard, and they immediately ask whose side he's on, and he said he's on nobody's side because nobody is on my side.
He's on his side.
Little orc. He calls them little orcs, which is funny. Nobody cares for the woods anymore.
Well, not
Over the time, yeah, they keep telling him we're not orcs, we're hobbits. He's never heard of a hobbit, so.
Never heard.
Sounds like orc mischief to me, Treebeard says.
Yeah. I guess the trees don't know the difference.
Where you guys are leaving out the best part. Room. He says 75 times in the freaking book. At the end of every freaking sentence in the book, room.
He doesn't say that in the movie, though.
He says it once.
Once,
Oh,
but
does he?
Not 75 times like he does in the book.
Oh.
yeah.
And I'm sure the Ents sing a song. There's so many songs in the book that they were like, we can't do that.
You know how like in the book
final
the text like switches over to like a different text when it's a song in the book and like
Yeah.
the font kind of changes. Every time I would get to one of those, I'm like, all right, skip.
All
That
right.
has nothing to do with me. I don't give a crap.
All right.
Anyway, yeah, they come into the forest with fire, breaking, hacking, burning, destroyers, usurpers. Curse them all. They keep trying to beat it into his head that we're hobbits, not orcs, but maybe you are, maybe you aren't. The White Wizard will know. And then they're like, oh crap, the White Wizard, Saruman.
He just said nobody's on our side. Apparently the White Wizard's on your side. I don't know, whatever.
That's the thing too. Is like it kind of like if you think about it, he says basically how the forest is getting burned, and then he says the White Wizard who's been doing the forest burning.
Yeah.
Like I guess
Yeah.
I guess
I don't
we,
think-
we didn't
I don't
know
think-
at the time, but
I don't think Treebeard knows that they're burning the forest yet, because remember, we'll
Oh,
get
that's
to it.
true. Yeah, yeah.
But he's like, his jaw drops when he walks into
Because
that.
he didn't know that was happening.
section,
Yep,
remember?
I forgot about that. Yep.
So we'll get to that, next episode.
Spoiler.
But future spoilers. Yeah.
Future spoilers.
We cut back to Gollum now, who are basically still following Gollum, trying to get back to Mordor. They reach the end of Emin Mule and see that Mordor is way closer now.
Mean mule. What is that?
I don't know.
That's the end of the jagged
The
rock.
Jagged
cliff.
Rocks. I
Oh
assume.
yeah.
Yeah.
'Cause we
so
have
now
the
they're
marsh.
onto the swamp. Now they're onto the marsh.
We have the
Out of the
marsh to
marshes.
go now. Yep.
Seems like a steep biome change. You go from like all rocks to just marshland.
Yeah.
Very
That
steep
does
change.
seem a little different.
I think it'd be more gradual.
Whatever, New Zealand, get it together.
Whatever, New Zealand. So bipolar.
Don't follow the lights.
Oh yeah. Now we
Yeah,
go.
we're going through the marsh now.
So we figured out. I think that this is where the beginning battle happened
Where
with
Sauron got the ring cut off.
with humans, elves, and orcs. Yeah.
Where Isildur was the weakest dude, was just the worst.
Just the weakest. Dude.
Just the weakest.
What was I gonna say? Yeah, so you know how kind of there's the beef between elves and dwarves, where like the elves kind of abandon the dwarves.
Yeah.
You ever notice that in this like battle where it's like elves and humans,
Dwarves weren't there.
The dwarves weren't there. Yeah.
Right.
I think it's because the dwarves.
So I'm wondering, like, did this beef start a lot earlier, or did it really start?
I think
when
I think they did explain it in the books why the dwarves weren't there, and it did have to do with the beef, and it also had to do with the fact that dwarves were weakened everywhere, basically after the Smog incident and a few other. Or
because the smog
no.
incident, the smog
Oh,
incident was way
You're
after.
right. You're right. There was a reason in the book, but the dwarves weren't there.
What's the reason?
I don't know.
Oh,
I don't know.
am I the chair guy? All right, you guys should keep talking, and I'm gonna find it.
Yeah, because I legit want to know that.
Yeah, I legit
that could have
wanna-
a big impact on this
Yeah, I
whole
want to know
beef
too.
thing, you know.
I guess. Gollum knows a way through the dead marshes. Don't look at the lights. Sam says, "There's dead faces in the water, man."
Yep.
They're all dead, all rotten, elves and men. The orcs. This is a great battle long ago. The dead marshes. Yes, that is their name for this. Don't follow the lights, Gollum says. To which Frodo's just like,
I don't follow the lights.
"What lights?"
Yeah.
Immediately looks down.
Oh, okay. So the dwarves of the hills and Erebor were fighting off an invasion at the time. So Mordor was invading the dwarven lands, and that's when the humans and elves said, "Hey, Sauron's weak," or the
that makes
Sauron's weak because they're waging war against the dwarves. This is our time to go attack. So it was
that
kind
makes
of,
a lot of sense now.
which is strategically the best time to attack somebody when they're waging war against somebody else.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Fair
So
enough.
so dwarves were on defense. Dwarves were on defense. The other two were on offense.
Right.
Mordor was in the middle.
Yeah.
Got it.
Yeah, fair enough.
Yeah,
'cause
that makes a lot more sense, man.
Yeah.
that does make sense. Yeah, you can't leave everything unguarded. Frodo immediately looks into the water and just like takes a face first dive, like boom, right into the dead marshes.
As soon as that thing opens its creepy eyes, too.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yep.
right?
The dead warrior opens his eyes. We
That
learn that they're
noise.
not actually bodies; they're just like whatever spirits.
Spirits
that
of the. I was about to say, do bodies not decompose? But it's not the bodies.
are right. Gollum pulls him out, but we see all of like the wraiths in the water, pretty much trying to take him down. Gollum pulls him out to safety,
Don't follow
and he's
the
like,
lights.
"Don't follow."
Do you
the
know?
lights,
Do you notice how
dude.
much
What do you-
deeper the water got when he fell in? But it was like
Yeah.
this deep before he fell in.
It's like this deep with like what looks like a body in it, and then you hit it, and all of a sudden he's like way down here.
Yeah, right. He's in the spirit world or something.
Yeah, pretty much. He's in the shadow realm.
Shadow realm.
Yeah, we're sitting there panting, pretty much.
Isn't this where he also kind of brings up the Smeagol thing?
Not quite yet, but
No?
the extended scene in this one is there is an extended scene here. I gotta find it though. Additional scene added to the dead marshes where Gollum chokes on Lambris bread,
Oh, yeah.
tries to sympathize with Frodo in the One Ring. Frodo shoves him away.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
That is an added scene. Yep.
Lambus bread.
Lambris bread.
I'd like to try me some lembas bread.
I know.
Pretty sure there was like a, what is it, like a is it Pinterest where they like have all these
Oh,
recipes.
yeah.
There was like a lembas bread recipe on like Pinterest that somebody sent me one time.
I'd try it.
I'd make it.
I'd make it.
I probably would.
Yeah.
After we're done with this, we should consider a Lord of the Rings party where we make stuff like that.
Where we all just like watch one. And
I'd throw it at my house if you don't want to get your house dirty.
Yeah, everybody just walks up with like 3 dead rabbits.
I would yeah.
BYOC, bring your own conies.
Bring your own
Bring your own conies.
I do have a Gimli costume, like an actual full Gimli.
There you go.
Yeah, you said that.
Yeah.
But then we have, to sit,
Uh-huh.
we have to sit in the back and smoke pipe weed too. So
True. The neighbors are like,
all right.
So
Sorry.
this is the scene where it's night and Frodo or Gollum is
Oh, he's doing that little poem rhyme.
yes, and
Oh,
he's
yeah.
like Frodo asks what he said. He's like, "You should be resting." And yes, now we get that exchange where he's like, "Your life is a sad story. Gandalf had told me about you. You were one of the river folk, not so different from a hobbit once." Essentially, he's like, what is it? Smeagol, right? He's like, "Your name was Smeagol?" And he's like, "What did you call me?
what did you call me?
What did you call me?"
Get the big doe eyes back, and you could tell he's
Yeah.
like back to himself, kind of.
That was your name once, wasn't it? Long ago. And then Gollum says it too, which I think helps.
That's it. Kyle has to be Gollum for the party. Just kidding.
That's it. Best
That's a
Gollum.
big Gollum.
That's a big Gollum.
Look at the size of that
I was
Gollum.
about to say, if you're a Gollum, I don't want to fight a
I
Gollum.
might have to
Yeah.
stop. Yeah, I'm gonna have to
If
stop.
I'm Frodo, I'm just giving him the ring and I'm running.
Here is the first time we see a fell beast, right?
Yep.
As
Yes.
the Nazgul screech overhead, we get to see that they're riding a dragon-like creature.
So the fell beast also can proc the poison in his shoulder. It seems. You know
Yeah.
what I'm saying?
Yep,
Like when
'cause
they
he-
scream, he.
Well, it was being ridden by a Nazgul though. Also,
Oh, okay.
And
So-
was it the fell beast that screamed, or was it the Nazgul? that
I think
made
it's the
noise?
Nazgul that screamed.
Oh.
Yeah. They make the noise. The Felbeast, all you really hear from them is kind of like a roaring.
Oh, okay.
Right.
I never caught that. Okay. My whole childhood, I thought it was the Felbeast making that noise.
Well, because you could see even when they were on Weathertop too, the Nazgul were making.
Oh,
those
you're
same
right.
noises.
Yeah. So that's what makes his poison like hurt so bad.
Yeah.
Yeah, so we try to hide, but Frodo can't because he's in pain. So we're all like, "Oh God, how do we kill him? We can't kill him." Or Sam thought they were dead.
Well, I mean, he did see one of them take a torch to the face and then fall off a cliff, but whatever.
Usually that
True.
kills people.
To which Gollum says, "No, we can't kill him. No."
We
Like,
we did agree they're the weakest Pokemon ever, but they don't die. Their weakness is fire, water, ice. Everything.
Pretty much all
He
the
gets
weaknesses. Yeah, so he's having a rough time, and he's clutching the ring, and Sam kind of grabs his hand, reassures him that he's here. They continue circling overhead until they're kind of out of sight.
Yeah.
Gollum says, hurry up, hobbits. The Black Gate is very close.
Yeah, because if Frodo would have put the ring on there, it would have been over.
That would have been
And he
over,
was
yeah.
about to.
Because there's nobody.
Yeah.
They're like Gollum and Sam to protect him.
Yeah, no.
That's it. That would have been the end of it. So, Sam coming in clutch again.
As usual.
MVP nomination.
Doug from 50 First Dates is the MVP.
Get up and leave.
Okay.
So we return to Fanghorn Forest this time, but not for Merry and Pippin. We're back with Gimli and Aragorn and Legolas,
Yeah.
who find the blood, and they're still tracking the two hobbits. They find the orc blood.
The gross Gimli part where he's like, orc blood. Why'd you lick it? What the fuck were you licking it for? It obviously looked like blood. There's a dark substance on a leaf, and you're gonna lick it.
Yeah.
Ugh.
Oh, this could be good.
Yeah, right? Why didn't you smell it first? Come on.
Yes, this forest is old, full of memory and anger. Gimli picks up his axe. Here at this point, he's like, the trees are speaking to each other, Legolas says.
Right.
Lower your axe. Actually, oh.
Oh. I love one scene later how he's like this horrible forest, and then he hears a sound and he's like beautiful,
Beautiful, wonderful forest.
Beautiful forest.
I like it's a quick little extended scene, but it's like the trees are talking. He's like, what do trees have to talk about besides the consistency of squirrel droppings?
That probably was from the book for all. I mean, it could have been. I don't
It
know.
could have been. It's just another
Yeah.
stupid Gimli moment where you're like, oh well, that's just something he'd say. Not needed in the movie
Yeah. Right.
by any means. But
As far as characters that say dumb stuff, we got Merry and Pippin obviously in first place.
Yeah.
And then a close second is just Gimli. Gimli, why do you say such stupid stuff all the time?
Gimli.
Here's Legolas dropping knowledge that elves have, and he's just like, squirrel droppings.
I'm not gonna lie.
Gimli.
If I were a part of the Fellowship, I'd be the Gimli, just saying the dumbest stuff.
yeah.
Actually, I'd probably be the Pippin who's like throwing skeletons down wells.
Yeah. Fuck it up for everybody.
True. Sorry.
Now
where we
everything
get
gets
sneaks.
real. Everything gets real tension right here as we see the White Wizard approaches. Essentially, Legolas says, Aragorn says, "Do not let him speak. He will cast a spell on us." He grabs his sword. Gimli grabs his axe, and Legolas gets an arrow ready to go. They got to be quick because if he says any words, man, it's toast. They're done with.
Yep, we don't want that.
The frogs or something. Whoever turns them
Yeah, so they all pretty much attack. He seems like he's very far away. I don't know what Legolas or what Gimli and Aragorn were like. Were they sprinting up at him? Like, ah.
Yeah, I don't know.
But he pretty much.
Yeah, Gimli threw an
Well,
axe.
Gimli
Yeah.
has throwing axes. He has little, and then
Yeah.
An endless
Fair
supply,
enough. And then-
obviously.
So he
Yeah,
deflects
he
the
does.
arrow, knocks the axe out of the way, and then heats up the hilt of Aragorn's sword. So he drops it.
Aragorn wasn't doing anything at this
No,
point.
he was like, "What?
This was a not sexy. This was a not sexy Aragorn
Spear
moment.
the sword."
Yeah.
But
He does have he's got that throwing dagger. I don't know why he didn't throw that.
Yeah, right. He
who
doesn't want
knows,
to lose
man?
it.
He's like, "I don't want this thing thrown back at me again."
Oh, that's bad.
It's Lurtz. He catches it, throws it back.
Right.
Lurtz is alive and a white.
You are tracking the footsteps of two young hobbits, and they're like, "Where are they, you son of a?"
Notice at this point he sounds like Saruman.
Yes, and I think that's done intentionally.
It is. Yeah.
As far as his podcast knows, this is Sauron, Mike.
Oh.
Yeah.
Oh. I'm sorry.
Spoilers again, dude.
I'm sorry.
If you're watching this, you've seen these movies a million
Yeah,
times.
I hope so.
It is what it is. Who are you? Show yourself. The bright light dims, and it is revealed to be Gandalf. Only donning a beautiful white cloak.
Wait, you're telling me he lived through that whole thing?
Through the whole thing, man. How could he have possibly lived? It cannot be.
This is where we get it.
You fell.
Yeah, this is where we see it.
Gandalf says, man.
Through fire.
Through fire and water. Gandalf is battling this Balrog atop a dungeon.
Yeah, can I just get
Atop Durin's Tower, from the lowest dungeon to the highest peak. I fought with the Balrog of Morgoth.
in my mind, this is how it goes: big hole, water, another world where there's high peaks. Like that's how this goes in my freaking mind.
That's what I'm thinking.
I
too.
can't get it out of my head either. It makes me so mad.
that's
It's,
what the
it's
underworld
very
is.
weird cuts. I will agree. They're
Yeah.
very weird cuts. It's like, okay, now you're just, what did you guys just stop and be like, you know where this would be cool? Mountaintop.
Yeah.
Balrog's like, dude,
It's like you ain't wrong.
What if it's
you
like
are not wrong.
what if it's like a Smash Bros thing where they get to choose their arena? The Balrog's like, I want the snowy one. And it's like, I want Hyrule Castle.
Or like a map change in like a Dragon Ball Z game
Yeah.
where you hit somebody hard
No.
enough, they go smashing like.
They walked up to a signpost and hit fast travel.
Yeah. They had a truce. They're like, truce. Let's pick a map.
It's like, you know what? I get a 10% buff on attack power at the top of this mountain, and Gandalf is like, you know what? I get a 10% damage resistance on the top of that mountain.
Let's go down.
Let's go.
Let's go. They became friends for a second, then kept fighting.
Until at last I threw down my enemy and smote his rune on the mountainside. Very
did.
dope. Very cool.
Very cool.
Well, yeah, and then you get that awesome scene of, mid-fight, let's just stop hitting each other so Gandalf can charge up his sword with a lightning bolt.
Yeah.
Hold on a second, sir. I'm charging up my sword.
Yeah, is this Final Fantasy turn-based?
It was
turn-based.
And then obviously, puts it in his heart. Cool. But in my head, I'm like, there's no way he was waiting that long for you to charge your freaking sword.
Balrog's like, all right.
It's like in Zelda when you hold your sword back and then wait for it
Oh,
to
yeah.
charge and then do that spinning thing. Yeah, he's just
Yeah.
gonna wait for you.
Yeah, of course. Oh, next scene though, there's something very important where he's like, I lived. How many lifetimes was it? So he's already just like so hate.
It was as long as a life age on Earth, but it was not the end. I felt life in me again.
So he lived an entire lifetime of just leveling up from gray to white. And so that's why he's so hazy when he comes back to the world of men, because he's like, I lived an entire lifetime not here.
Still,
he's been-
he
he's
just saw Merry and Pippin and they called you Gandalf.
Yeah, that was a good point.
Gandalf. Oh, that was my name. Yeah, they didn't call you that yesterday.
Yeah.
when they freaking met you, bro.
That was kind of a plot hole.
yeah.
A little bit.
Unless Mary and Pippin were so awestruck that they just didn't talk. He's like, okay, throw those orcs, come over there.
Yeah, pretty much.
With a little bit of cockiness in his eyes. I am Gandalf the White, and I come back to you now at the turn of the tide. It's only been like, I don't know, a half a movie for us since you've been gone, dude. Let's.
Yeah, come on.
One stage of your journey is over and another begins. War has come to Rohan. We must ride to Endorus and with all speed.
And guess-
Shadowfax.
Love this one, dude.
you have to tell him our theory of who Shadowfax is.
Yeah.
It's the dumbest thing.
We came up with the best movie that we're ever gonna make. Gandalf whistles and Shadowfax, the Lord of Horses, comes barreling across the plains. He's an all-white, gorgeous horse, god of horses.
One of the Maris.
He is also Bill the Pony. We've decided that after Bill the Pony left the Mines of Moria, he got into a fight with a pony Balrog.
And became
And after tumbling through the plains, because horse Balrogs aren't as cool. You don't get mountaintops. It's just like
the lowest plane on the highest something.
it's like a
Valley?
hill.
We'll go with that.
It's like a hill. He smote down
horse battle.
horse Balrog, and he ascended to Shadowfax, Bill the Pony the White.
And if,
Bill the White.
and if Tolkien were alive today, he would confirm it. Yeah,
Probably would.
the only reason it's not confirmed is because he's passed away.
yeah, unfortunately.
R.I.P. Tolkien.
Shadowfax, the Lord of all horses, and he has been my friend through many dangers. I'm like, well, where was he?
Yeah. Been my friend for the last 10 minutes since I came back to this world.
Remember, he's spent a lifetime.
Remember what we
ascending.
said about Bill?
Oh.
Remember what we said about Bill, though? The mines are no place for a pony. Only reason Shadowfax didn't save him in the beginning.
True.
Yep, true.
Yeah, what would a horse do in the mines of Moria? Nothing. Yeah, it'd be useless.
Probably dodge arrows.
Dodge arrows.
It's a good thing they didn't bring that horse down there, man, because
It would have died pretty quickly.
cave troll immediately.
The staircase thing, the...
Oh yeah. You might be able to toss a dwarf over, but you ain't tossing a freaking horse across the chasm, dude.
That would be the sexiest Aragorn.
Oh yeah, he just picks up a horse over his head and throws it.
All right, Aragorn.
Treebeard is now walking through the forest with Merry and Pippin. There's an added scene here where he tells them a poem, and they straight up fall asleep, along with me.
And everyone...
Dude, some of the extended Treebeard stuff is just like, oh god.
Please.
Treebeard has such a big place in that second book, though, dude.
Yeah,
Like,
like he's huge.
And for the amount of screen time that he actually got, I was like,
Also, can I say, what a coincidence, because Treebeard in the books is one of the eldest. He might be the eldest tree or something like that.
Right.
And what are the chances that that's the tree they climbed on?
yeah.
In the whole forest. And who's, like, the leader? Like, I know it's a... I know
Like
it's
other trees are waking up and he's like grounded like, nope, go back to sleep. You're not ready yet.
yeah, that's true, yeah.
Here we see Treebeard also call the White Wizard by his name, as he says, "My home lies deep in the forest near the roots of the mountain. I told Gandalf I would keep you safe, and safe is where I'll keep you.
Yeah.
The trees have grown wild and dangerous. Anger festers in their hearts. They will harm you if they can. There are too few of us now. Too few of us Ents left to manage them."
Yeah.
That whole Ent girl, pretty much, women,
wives.
that was extended, I believe,
Yeah.
right? It's like, we can't find them.
Do you
Man,
know
we-
what they look like? Yeah.
We lost them.
Oh, no, he said, have you seen any?
Have you seen any?
What do they look like? I can't remember.
I can't remember.
Shows you how strong their relationships were. Just lost a wife for 1,000 years.
Yeah. Great.
She
Oh,
gone. She gone.
So as we cut back to Gollum and Frodo and Sam, we're now in front of the Black Gate of Mordor. We can see the enormous Black Gate is open. Orcs are patrolling, standing guard on top of the walls. They're coming in and out. But it's implied that it'll soon be closing. So
Obviously, they did not have a plan. Like, no plan was come up with.
This is where we get to see those guys again, right?
yes,
The guys that were riding the Oliphaunts.
Oh, yeah.
yes.
The Men of the South. What is their nation? I'll look it up.
They don't even. I don't think they have it there. I feel like they're like mercenaries.
They might be mercenaries, but I think I think those Southern men have a nation that they come from. I'll
All I know is in the movie Alexander, that's who he was fighting in India.
look. True.
Those dudes.
True. I'll look it
So
up.
basically, Frodo wants to try his chances at going straight through the gate. Sam's like, "Dude, we're not going to be able to make that." And he's like, "I don't care. We have to try." And Gollum is like, "Dude, no, please don't, Master." Calls him Master now because Smeagol is actually, seems to be okay with.
It's pretty docile.
Yeah, he actually seems to be okay with freaking Frodo now. So he knows another way. But before that, two of the soldiers come kind of stomping down the cliff, right? Because
After the
because they use the cloak.
after they fall down the side and there's kind of like smoke from on the rock or whatever, they kind of cover themselves up and then
And now we see that those cloaks kind of do imitate rocks or whatever because they're standing right in front of Frodo and Sam and they can't see him essentially with the cloaks over them. So
Yeah, that's the only time in the series you guys see the cloak's powers. Because I know in the books the cloaks basically can camouflage to almost anything.
right, and that's part of the reason that I think maybe Merry and Pippin were able to kind of get out of that chaos
Yeah,
in the Rohan Riders.
because of their cloaks. Yeah, that's true. Because they're running. Oh, I was gonna say they're the men from the south they're called the dark-skinned Haradrim. That's kind of racist. Of Southron. Dark-skinned Haradrim of Southrons, and their elephants in their language are called Mumacules. I knew that one, actually. So, but, they come from... I
remember reading that Oliphaunts was like a Shire folk word for them.
Yeah, elephant, but they're called
But they're
Mumacules.
actually called Mumacules, yeah.
But I know that they are for pay, basically. Their whole entire nation's like mercenaries, but...
Guns for hire,
Yeah,
essentially.
basically. Yeah.
swords for hire.
No, they have guns. Tam.
Yeah, so now they're getting ready to just make a run for it, man. There's a no holds bar, and Gollum pulls them back and says, "No."
They catch you.
They're always looking for
This
it,
is the wisest thing.
and we can't let him have it. That's
The wisest thing Gollum said, because they would definitely
I feel like
see
this
him.
is like the first time you get to see Gollum actually be 100% Team Frodo.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like, I think up until
The
pond.
Yeah.
There's
Smeagol is there because he tells Gollum to go away and never come back, which we'll get to. But
there's a little bit of selfishness here because he wants the ring
Well,
for
yes.
himself, so that's why he doesn't want him to get caught. But he's also, I don't know. I get it.
I think at this moment, Smeagol is not beyond redemption. I mean, it changes, unfortunately, spoilers, but
Yeah.
at this moment, I think he's beginning to, start down that path. But Frodo just tries to go for it anyway. Gollum pulls him back again, says there's another way, follow me, we'll go this way, blah, 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 blah.
And this is when Sam really starts to distrust Gollum because he's
Yeah,
like,
he's
you
like,
never.
you
Well,
didn't tell
Frodo's
us.
like, you've never talked about this before, and Sam's like, yeah, this is sketchy.
You know how far we just went? He tells us there's like a shortcut.
Because Master did not ask. It's like, come on, dude. Whatever.
In Gollum's defense, he did say, "Take us to the Black Gate."
That is true.
Yeah.
He literally
He never was like, "What's the
Take us
fastest
to
way?"
a secret back way
Yeah,
through the
that's true.
Black Gate.
He never said, "What's the fastest way to get to the mountain to destroy the ring?" He really was just like, "The Black Gate."
Yeah, that Black Gate. Gollum's like, I thought you had a better plan than this. You're just gonna run at them.
I showed you how to get here. Y'all stupid though.
Yo, stupid. Yeah. So yeah, I guess that's a good point.
Yeah, but he has been true to his word this time, so we're going to go ahead and follow him. But Sam is still just looking at him in disbelief, like, this guy. We cut back to Gandalf now. Andorus and the Golden Hall of what is that? Meduzeld? How do you say that? I don't know.
I don't know. Let's go for it.
Yeah.
That works for me. There dwells Theoden, king of Rohan, whose mind is overthrown. Sauron's hold over King Theoden is now very strong, which we know because he looks like a corpse, as we've seen in the last previous scenes.
He don't look good.
Basically, now his son has died. He's under control, so there's just no emotion from it. Gandalf pretty much says, watch what you say. There will be no welcome here for us. Mm-hmm. As they ride towards Endress. We come back to Grima in Endress. It's just an awful person. Mm-hmm. He must have died sometime in the night. What a tragedy for the king to lose his only son and heir. Tragic. It's just more of him just being creepy here now, dude.
Dude, I think he has some game.
Calls him a snake. He's like, leave me alone, snake.
He wouldn't be my top wingman. He'd be top 5 wingman for me. Top 5. No, I'm just kidding. Danner's face is like, no.
Yeah, if you want to poison your date.
So, like, oh, my date's dead.
Also says his words are poison. Mm-hmm. He spins a bunch of
Yeah.
gross, creepy stuff.
Doesn't this where she also just keep his forked tongue behind his teeth?
Yeah, pretty much. Your words are poison.
And yet he's still like, I got a chance. What?
So you're saying there's a chance?
Yeah, so Eowyn runs outside and sees that the flag gets ripped off the pole, shot out into the distance, and then we see a trio of horses come over the hill, and it is our boys. Mm-hmm. And the flag, as the flag lands right by the gates, is Gandalf, Legolas, Gimli, and Aragorn. Enter the town.
Is it weird to me, too, that this whole country of Rohan is just so big and vast. Mm-hmm. Edoras is really small.
Yeah.
Right.
And then Helm's Deep, I'm like, why wouldn't you go to Helm's Deep? Like stay there.
So
why would you want to live out in the open with no defenses?
The reason is, I believe in the books, is nothing can grow in Helm's Deep. It's like a barren. You can't grow you can't grow crops or anything.
Fair enough.
So it's only a defense place, because if you tried to live there, you would basically starve.
That's fair.
Makes sense to me.
Yeah.
Yeah.
There's at least a group of dudes that are at Helm's Deep to upkeep it.
Yeah,
make sure
there's
it's good. And then they just see everybody from Edoras coming, and they're like,
"Fuck again."
There's only one reason they're coming here.
Yeah.
You'll find more cheer in a graveyard.
Yeah.
Everybody's.
It looks like a
upset
Witcher
here,
3 village.
It
Like,
does.
we said that
It straight up does. We get up to the front gates, and this character's name is Hama, who wants to take all of their weapons. Gandalf nods as they all surrender their weapons.
They don't need weapons. Come on.
He wants his staff. He's like, oh, come on. You would not part an old man with his walking stick?
That's just rude.
It's just rude. Why would you want to do something like that?
You know this guy. I'll say that later when the time comes.
It's just like the little wink when he's like, all right, fine. And Gandalf's just like, Winks at Aragorn.
But that guy who didn't take his staff, because he held himself back because
Yeah.
he wanted this to happen.
When all the thugs were trying to fight him, he actually like held everybody
Yeah.
else back.
So that's why I think that's why he intentionally let him
Right.
keep his staff. But he, yeah.
The wizard staff.
I told you to get the staff. And that,
Oh, Gandalf's the one that says it. Keep your forked tongue between your behind
Yes.
your teeth.
Oh, yeah.
He says that.
Yep, he does say that. Grima says that the Gandalf the Grey is coming. He's a herald of woe. Where am I at? The courtesy of your hall is somewhat lessened of late, Theoden King. Because referring to all of the banished horsemen, I assume. Grima's still just whispering, stinking.
Not welcome.
He's not welcome. Yeah, he's just gross, slimy crap in his ear, dude.
I like how he's got on his gray, like, thing over his like white robes.
Yeah.
To like kind of almost
Yeah.
disguise that he changed orders basically.
he's
Yeah,
like,
pretty
I'm
much.
about to make Saruman shit his pants.
Theoden.
Gandalf the Great. He's not welcome here. He's looking under his cloak and he's like, I'm about to end this man's whole career.
I'm about to.
When do you think they stopped in the field and Gandalf is like, dude, gray cloak, this is gonna be so cool.
This is gonna be so cool.
Right.
This is gonna be so cool. Aragorn, dude, this is gonna be so cool when I take this off. Make sure you're filming.
The others, make sure you're filming.
Get this on Snap, Aragorn.
They're gonna think I'm Gandalf the Grey, and then I'm gonna whip this bad boy off, and everybody's gonna be like,
The
gonna
other
be
three
so
were just
cool.
hype men. They were just hype men following.
and then the beat drops.
Theoden Hazy says, "Why should I welcome you, Gandalf Stormcrow?"
I don't know where the stone core.
There's a lot of dialogue here. But Gandalf basically ends it all by saying, "Be silent, keep your forked tongue behind your teeth. I have not passed through fire and death to banly crooked words with a witless worm." As he raises his staff against him, and he's like, "No!"
When's the most famous line of memes come? You have no power.
It's coming, it's coming. I told you to take the wizard's staff.
Yeah,
That's not the most
this is
famous
when the other what?
That's the most famous one is the Boromir.
Oh,
one
yeah.
does not simply.
Oh yeah,
yeah, that's gotta
That's
be
gotta be the
gotta
most
best.
famous.
yeah, it probably has to be.
Pretty much, he says, "Hearken to me, I release you from this spell." But it doesn't work as Theoden begins laughing.
Is this when everyone else is
About
going?
to end this man's whole career.
Is this when everyone else is going Max Holloway in the background, just
Oh, yeah,
lighting up the
much,
guards?
Legolas is doing no look knockouts.
Oh, dude. It's so cool. You have no power here,
You-
Gandalf the Grey. Coolest line in this whole half, man.
And then, white cloak.
Ah!
I feel like he just looked at Aragorn. He's like, "Remember when I put this cloak on?"
Gandalf sips tea.
Saruman's shitting his pants because he's like,
Oh.
now I actually have a challenge here.
Right.
Yeah, pretty much. Now we actually have the power to banish Saruman from Theoden's head, and we do so. It sends him flying across the room. It's pretty dope.
Got a little
Be gone!
bloody forehead action there.
Yeah.
And this is a nice little moment when Theoden is kind of coming back. He's like, "I know your face, Eowyn."
Telling you, hate this part. He's got a bunch of wispy Gollum hairs on his cheek, and it pisses me off.
They go away. He trims them up.
Yeah, he does. But like for a second, they're like after he's finally coherent and back to like himself, like he moves his head, you can just see like Gollum hairs.
Gollum.
That's the only way I can think to call him is because that's what they freaking look like.
Yeah. He groomed it eventually.
Yeah, before he went to visit his son's grave.
Dark have been my dreams as of late. Your fingers would remember their strength better if they grasped your sword. As he unsheathes his sword, Theoden is back, baby.
And the first thing he does is look over at Wormtongue,
Yeah.
who Gimli has got just like on a leash, like hold him, like,
Yeah.
"Oh, come here, little boy."
Yeah, pretty much.
Yeah, 'cause he
pretty
tried to get
much,
away
dude.
with it.
And I mean, he was about ready to straight up murder this dude. Like, and who wouldn't be?
Yeah.
Just spinning
Oh,
snake,
look, again,
snake tongue lies
You know,
into your
another
ear.
example of him talking super tough. Gandalf's robe comes off, the fight happens, and then you see him just cowering on the
Yeah.
ground.
Oh yeah, for sure.
Such a little bitch, dude.
Such a.
I hate him.
I hate him. Yeah, well, but if you follow the extended editions, it's probably good they let him live
Yeah, probably.
I suppose.
because he does something cool later.
Yeah, in the long run.
Yeah.
I can't wait for that part.
Anyway, yeah, Theoden's about to straight up kill Grima Wormtongue, and Aragorn's just like, nah, let him go. Enough people have died on his behalf. Enough blood has been spilt because of him.
Kind of dumb logic on Aragorn's part. Like, first of all, there's going to be a lot of blood still yet spilt.
And here's the other thing, too. He runs straight back to Saruman, tells him they're going to go to Helm's
Yeah.
Deep. This is how we're, like, there's only one drainage area that you could kind of exploit as a weakness.
Yeah.
And then that's where Saruman comes with the plan to blow the wall. So
Yeah,
it's like,
not the best decision. by
no,
Aragorn.
it wasn't, no. Probably could have killed him. And have Saruman locked in his tower for the rest of the movie.
Yeah, right. I would have been more okay with that.
Yeah.
Yeah, pretty much. Get another extended scene here when we go to the funeral of his son, and Eowyn is singing.
What's the name of the flower that he talks about?
I don't remember.
Something about forever, is it?
White flower comes into view. Symbolime.
Symbolime, yeah. Long as it grown on the tombs of my forefathers, I believe he says.
Now it shall cover the grave of my son. Alas, that these evil days should be mine. The young perish and the old linger, that I should live to see the last days of my house. Poor dude.
Yeah.
I'm like, all I can think of there is like, sorry, bro. I mean, there's probably a couple chicks that would still hook up with you, man.
I mean,
you got some-
probably.
You got some nuts left in those.
Yeah, right. Yeah, I mean, obviously he's probably not going to die, but if he did die in a later episode, we were saying that we don't know who's going to take over the throne unless that girl takes over the throne.
Which
Right.
she seems like,
Yeah.
yeah.
Her and yeah.
I'm not saying I don't
Her
think,
and not Boromir.
I don't
but
think Theoden will ever die, but
never.
Well, it's like just like I think I'm gonna be the king of Rohan now. And everyone's like, what makes you think you should be the king? Did you not see me kill the King Nazgul?
Yeah.
I'm the king of whatever I want to be king.
yeah, I'm king now.
Yeah.
Yeah, so we see those two kids from earlier right up in the distance. Gandalf is just like, yeah, this is just a taste of the terror that's to come.
The Westfold has been burning.
Yeah, pretty much. Aragorn says you have 1,000 good men riding north as we speak. Éomer is loyal to you. His men will return to fight for their king. But they're 200 leagues away from here. They'll never make it in time, unfortunately. I will not risk open war.
Open war is upon you.
Yeah, open war is upon you.
They
Whether
would
you
have got
risk it or not.
smacked if they stayed there.
Yeah.
When I last looked, Theoden, not Aragorn, was king of Rohan. Burn.
Burn.
Gandalf's pretty much, yeah, what's the king's decision? What are you going to do? Because, like, they're coming.
Helm's Deep.
Helm's Deep.
Pretty much.
He decides to send everybody to Helm's Deep to bunker down. They flee to the mountains when they should stand and fight. Who will defend them if not their king? Gimli says. It is what it is, man. Helm's Deep has saved them in the past, bro. That's word for word what Aragorn says to Gimli. There is no way out of that ravine, though, we know. Theoden is walking into a trap. He thinks he's leading them to safety. What they will get is a massacre. Theoden has a strong will, but I fear for him. I will fear for the survival of Rohan. He will need you before the end, Aragorn. The people of Rohan will need you. Those defensive have to hold.
I like the lack of allies everyone has. Like, Rohan doesn't trust Gondor. The elves and the dwarves are out of this. The men of Bree are useless because they don't have a military.
Yeah, pretty
There's
much.
nobody's watching out for anybody in this whole.
No, pretty much not. So Gandalf calls Shadowfax, hops on. He's getting ready to bail. Look to my coming at first light on the 5th day at dawn. Look to the east. He opens the stall gates, and Gandalf is off.
On a side note, what you were saying there, I was like, man, wouldn't it be cool if they had a Hobbit army? Like a trained Hobbit army?
Hobbits have less of a military than. Well, Hobbits did have an army in the early Goblin Wars, I believe. They mentioned it in The Hobbit.
Right.
Like, the Hobbits fought off like a Goblin army. But that was the last time the Hobbits had any sort of military.
Right. So now we kind of get the first interaction between Éowyn and Aragorn is she's like swinging the sword around, and then he like parries it
With a knife, because he's badass.
with a knife because he's super cool. Yeah, we get a lot of good dialogue here because
She like does that thing, swings the sword around, points it at him, and he instantly gets a boner.
Yeah. He's like, all right, you got me.
You
Let's
got
go.
me."
Let's go to this bedroom over here.
Yeah.
Yeah, pretty much. She fears, a cage, essentially.
I don't think that's what the orcs are going to do to her. I think the orcs are just going to kill her. So.
Yeah, probably.
Here's another thing I had thought of too. It's cool that obviously things work out in Aragorn's favor with the person that he's interested in, but he wipes her up. He becomes basically king of Rohan and Gondor.
Right.
And all the men would basically be united under one banner again.
Right.
Which hadn't happened in
You're right.
as far back as I could.
You could
think,
make
really.
an argument with that he's doing that with the Elven Kingdom, but I don't know if that's how it works.
No. And I'm pretty sure pretty sure Arwen's dad does not want them to be together.
No.
Don't think he's down for that one.
Probably not.
No, probably not. We cut back to Grima and Sauron here, when Grima pretty much tells him they'll go to Helm's Deep. Yeah, catch them on the way. And Saruman's like, yep, send out the Warg Riders.
Yep.
And we see the shadows of them. We don't see them yet. It's just hyena-looking shadows ripping each
And
other
noises.
apart in a pit. They sound pretty vicious. All of that good stuff. That's just a short cut because we go right back to Sam and Frodo after that.
Honestly, it's whenever I love Sam and Frodo, but it's honestly like less desirable parts because I kind of dislike Frodo and I kind of dislike Gollum. So whenever we cut back to them, I'm like, oh.
Yeah, pretty much.
Oh boy, Sam again.
Yeah, Sam. I'm like Sam basically.
Well, it's like how in the book too, it's like chapters. Like the chapter will end, and then you'll go to a different area of the world or whatever. And every time I would get to Frodo, I'd be like,
yeah,
you just go back to the cool people that I like.
Right.
I don't like you, Frodo.
Yeah.
We get more stuff here about Sam, insulting him and making him feel bad and running him down. To which Frodo's like, "Hey, knock that off! Don't run him down all the time."
Which
He's
he
like,
called
"Why
him.
are you-"
He called him a stinker. We call each
Right.
other worse than that all the time. Like, come on, Frodo.
He's why do you want to help him? And he's like, because I have to believe that he can come back. And I think that's a very important line.
Yeah,
Just
it is.
Yeah.
one quick line.
Yeah, it is. I like that line.
You have to believe he can come back.
Not true at all. Maybe true. We don't know yet.
Because right after that, he snaps a little bit at Sam when he's like, "You can't save him, Mr. Frodo." He's like, "What do you know about it? Nothing."
Yeah.
Immediately kind of flips that switch. Oops. Flips that switch a little bit.
He's got the bipolar ring stuff going on.
Little bit.
So yeah, are we gonna have a name for bipolar ring Frodo?
Yeah.
Because it's about to happen.
We
a
have
lot.
Frolum and Frodo.
Frolum.
Frolum.
well, Gollum is named because of his cough.
Oh.
When he coughs, he says Gollum. Gollum.
Oh.
That's why they started calling him Gollum. So Sam would have to, or Frodo would have to be either. He cries out Sam and Gandalf a lot. Sam!
Yeah.
Gandalf!
Just call him Dickface. I don't know.
Oh, gosh.
Get stabbed.
Get stabbed. When you get stabbed.
But yeah, pretty much Sam's like, I see that you can't take your eyes off the ring. It haunts you. You can't sleep.
You barely eat.
It's taking a hold of you and you have to fight it. And then he's like,
Why didn't they put it in a lockbox or
don't
or
know.
cover it? Why does it always
it was
have
in
to be out?
It was in Bilbo's pocket the whole time.
Why does it always have to be visible? Put it
I'm like,
in
yeah.
a case of some sort.
It's touching his skin constantly.
What? I don't know.
I know what I have to do, Sam. The ring was entrusted to me. It's my task, mine, my own. As he walks away. Mm-hmm. And who does that sound like? Don't you know who you sound like?
Don't you know he's sounds like Anna when she's talking about her food when I'm
And then here we get that in between Gollum and Smeagol at night here once the sun goes down, where Smeagol decides that he wants to be Smeagol. We don't need you anymore. We got Master to help protect us. Leave and never come back. Mm-hmm. And he does, man. I mean, he goes away.
when I was a kid, I thought that worked permanently. I was like, great.
Maybe it would have. It's hard to tell how that would have went if he was treated not like a monster. But
all I can think of just now, I got some exes with multiple personalities. I can ask them how it works.
Yeah. You just yell, leave,
and never come back. That's funny.
But yeah, he does a little dance when he goes away. It's some weird cuts. Between the two, I know it's meant to look like two different people, but the way they do it later is way better, I feel like.
Yeah.
in the second half. The way they cut back.
And this is where he goes and gets a good old brace of conies.
Yes, he
Yes.
sure does. Waving them in his face, cracking them open, and taking a bite out of him. He's like, Sam walks up, you'll make him sick. There's only one There's only one way to eat a brace of conies.
Sing the song. Sing it. Sing it. Okay.
Yeah, so it cuts to a pot of stew simmering. Yep, we're cooking some
And
coney
then
stew.
you hear that just got off of it like, it ruins it.
Filthy fat hobbits.
I like because Sam and Gollum are like talking here. And they're talking about fish and taters, of course. What we need is a few good taters.
What's taters, precious?
Potatoes. Boil them, mash them, stick them in a stew.
Yes.
You keep nasty
Lovely
chips.
big golden chips with a nice piece of fried fish. And then, Smeagol's like,
Even you couldn't say no to that.
even you couldn't say a good
Oh,
pull.
This,
yes.
this is one of my favorites. I forget how much I like this.
Oh
scene.
yes, we could.
I love that next line from him. Yeah, it's like spoil nice fish, give it to us raw and wriggling. Oh, it's so funny. Dude.
It's that he does like that anime girl cross-eyed look when he says to he's like cross-eyed when he says it.
Oh man. All right. So now, we're getting close to the end here as Frodo's kind of looking off at the. Did we figure out what their names? Haradrim army, right?
Yeah, the dark-skinned men of the
Yeah,
south.
the dark skin. So,
I'm just gonna shut up here.
I'm just gonna shut up.
Gollum refers to them as wicked men, servants of Sauron. They are called to Mordor. The Dark One is gathering all armies to him. It won't be long now. He will soon be ready. Ready to do what? To make his war. The last war that will cover all the world in shadow.
How does Gollum know all this? Well, I guess he was tortured in that.
For a while. it
Yeah,
sounds
so
like.
maybe he overheard a lot of stuff. I don't know.
I would imagine that's exactly what
Yeah, fair enough.
So now we get to see the Oliphants as they come around the corner. Those are stinking awesome. They're like
Yeah.
500-foot elephant with giant tusks. And
Yeah.
Of course, you've seen it.
we would hope.
We would hope. They have the double tusks too. It's just like
Yeah, they do. Good point. But Frodo says we've lingered here too long because it's easy to watch them. We need to get out of here.
Well, it's like you just all of a sudden randomly start seeing arrows flying with no warning.
Yeah, that's
Yeah,
right.
yeah.
Yep, good call. Yep, they start attacking the Oliphants and the people.
underrated archers, the men of Gondor.
They
Yeah.
really are. They really are.
They really are.
Everyone's like the elven archers. I'm like, dude, not Boromir and his gang are
Not Boromir.
not Boromir and his gang of archers are like.
They're pretty
There's a
close.
name of them too in the books. It's like, I don't know. It's something cheesy like Night Shadow Archers, but they're pretty BA.
Night Shadow Archers.
I don't know what they're called. They were called something weird.
It's like that better not be the name. I will be pissed. If that's the name.
So Frodo turns to Bale and he bumps into the Gondorian soldier. He throws his hood down. We don't know who it is yet, but this scene there's an extended scene here too where he pities the man he killed, wonders if he's truly evil or if he was just
Doing his job, basically.
doing his job essentially.
Yeah.
Bind their hands essentially, and then they put a sack over their heads, and that's where the first half of the Two Towers cuts off.
That's usually the situation I like to find myself in.
Yeah.
Bind his
Tied in
hand.
a bag over my head.
Yeah, I'm like, where are we going?
Where are we going? Are they gonna have snacks where we're going?
That concludes the first half of The Lord of the Rings, The Two Towers. Favorite part?
Treebeard's poems and talking. No,
Okay.
I'm just kidding.
No, that's going down as your answer.
no. It's no. That's your answer. No takes backsies.
No takesies back.
Yeah.
If I'm being completely honest, man, the first half of this movie is pretty uneventful.
Honestly,
There's
it's kind of the
nothing-
case with all three of them, but
Yeah.
It's like
It's rising action climax.
yeah, kind of. It's like
yeah,
I mean,
the second halves of these movies are pretty big.
yeah, it's like filler and character development.
Right.
And
I
then,
can't wait till the second half of this.
I'm
We get
so
the war.
hyped.
We start out with the warg fight.
Yeah, dude.
Yeah.
The warg.
Yeah, I'm excited for the next half, and you should be too.
Favorite part though. Favorite part was when the rope part.
Yeah.
Ah, it's gotta be.
Yeah.
As soon as they enter
It's
the, I mean, that's
gotta
really the
be.
only action we get, like, really in this movie. I mean, you get to
I
see
mean, besides the Riders of Rohan.
yeah,
but-
but
And
that's
then
really,
when Merry and Pippin are escaping.
yeah, 'cause
True,
You're
yeah.
seeing that battle, but you're not really seeing the battle. You're seeing
Yeah.
the battle from their height.
Well,
Yeah.
and it's the first time you get to see Gandalf the White do something, gangster.
The only other action was him finding the Balrog, but that happens for 2 seconds.
2 seconds, yeah.
Yeah.
Maybe a minute once you cut in both halves of the story, but
Sure.
lightning bolt sword.
nope, I'd have to agree that
Yeah.
reveal of Gandalf the White was
Probably best.
stinking awesome. What about MVP of this movie? Aragorn was the MVP of the last movie.
It has to be Gandalf. Well,
Gandalf or
It's got to be Gandalf so far,
Well,
just because of what he did in the hall.
you could. I know you guys will make fun of me, but Treebeard was kind of up there. For if he doesn't save Merry and Pippin there's a whole entire new storyline.
out of our main characters, I think he
You know
killed
what?
the
I
most
feel
horse.
like the story ends the same no matter what the fuck happens to Merry and Pippin.
Honestly,
I love them to death, but I still feel
honestly,
like we
the
get through
first half of the Two Towers,
Well-
Smeagol.
Well, Merry and Pippin.
I call him the MVP of this one.
Smeagol, really?
I mean,
he goes through the black gates and gets killed. Credits.
Great.
Like,
I was
Yeah,
gonna
true.
say, yeah, he stopped them from literally
Yeah.
dying like multiple times, and he's actually like guided them to the Black Gates and then further,
All right.
so on and so forth. I would say Smeagol is the MVP of this one.
It's hard. Gandalf, Treebeard, Smeagol.
I gotta stick with Gandalf on this one.
He's in it for like 14 minutes.
You gotta think.
Like,
You gotta think.
I
Though,
can't
if
give
he
it
doesn't
to-
drive out that, if he doesn't drive out Saruman out of Theoden, where do we go from here? We don't even have a battle of Helm's Deep anymore. They just get
What?
slaughtered.
Well, if you're going with that theory, I mean, if Gollum doesn't lead them to where he leads them, then they never destroy the ring. Period.
Well, then if Sam didn't slap his hand, they
Like if Gollum,
they-
if Gollum doesn't take them, then they lose the war anyway. It doesn't matter what Gandalf and them do. Like if you're talking about future,
do we have a tie for MVP?
no, it's definitely Smeagol.
He swallows the ring. Turns out stomach acid can destroy the ring. They didn't know that.
All right,
all right.
That's where we're drawing the friction,
Sex-
bro.
it's time for
Sexiest Aragorn.
my favorite part about this whole episode. We're gonna start talking about sexiest Aragorn.
All right.
I think my sexiest Aragorn from this movie is when he's calming the horse.
I was gonna say that.
Oh.
I was gonna say that.
I just can't get enough of that. He's
So,
speaking,
so
he's
that's
speaking
winning. That's winning over the.
Yeah, and he's like pulling him down, speaking to him in Elvish, gets real close. And, oh man, he's like releasing this horse has seen enough of war. I'm like, definitely the best from this half of the movie.
That is pretty hot.
Yeah, I have to agree.
Because I would really like to say like the like tracker version of Aragorn. We get it twice when he's got
Right.
his head down and then when he's kind of tracking to the
Yeah,
forest.
that was definitely in the front running,
Sure.
and then I remembered the horse,
Yeah,
and
the
I was
horse.
like, oh, I
I
can't.
like
Yeah.
the horse thing.
Sh-
too.
Sherlock. I'll say that's Sherlock Holmes Aragorn when he's
Yeah.
figuring everything out.
Just don't like that.
So between horse whisperer Aragorn and smiling sword Aragorn.
Smiling sword.
Yep, that's how we're ranking it. I don't
Yeah.
know, man. I think
Mm,
I'm a big sucker for animals, dude.
I am too.
I give it to the smile. I give it to the.
You know what though? I'm gonna agree with Tanner only because if I were staring down an army of Uruk-hai, I'm going that way.
I'm not trying to relate to it. I'm trying to see what blows up your skirt. You know what I'm saying?
He didn't even yell out to nobody for help. He didn't even look over his shoulder. He was just like,
Fair enough. All right. So smiling sword Aragorn, horse whisperer
For
Aragorn.
now. For now.
For now. For now. All right, guys. This has been a good episode. I've had a lot of fun, and we've hit an hour and a half. We're not super long. So
there we go.
this has been Velocity Movies in Review. Tune in next week for the second half of The Two Towers.
Mm-hmm. That's going to be a juicy one.
That is going to be a juicy episode. There's a lot to dive into and nerd out about. We love talking about Lord of the Rings, so tune in for that one. I wish I could give you a definite day, but we're still kind of working that out. So, thank you for watching, and remember, you can follow us on Facebook. Share it with your friends if you think that they would like the movie reviews. I know we're kind of discussing what movie series to do next.
I think we
kinda
agreed on
gotta-
Velocipaster. No, I'm kidding.
Velocipaster.
The worst movie of all time.
I thought we were decided.
I am leaning heavily towards Pirates.
Yeah, I thought that's
Oh, sure.
the next series that
Yeah.
we're doing. Yeah.
Mine was a joke.
Unless somebody says, "Hey, I really hate those movies," then we'll see.
Although
But
eventually we should do terrible movies in review. That'd be cool.
Well, yeah, I would love to do terrible movies.
we're
Like,
starting with Sharknado.
I'd like to.
Sharknado?
It'd be funny to do one quicker review for a terrible movie on like Monday or Tuesday, and then on Saturday do like the long movie series ones or whatever. But we'll figure all that stuff out as we go. We're kind of working out kinks with adding another podcast. And I mean, there's more of that to come. So
I like that.
remember, Facebook.com, search Velocity Entertainment. Look for the 3 skulls.
Yes.
Thanks to Anna Smith for making those skulls for us.
And for going back in and fixing my hair.
You think her name's going to be Smith for long?
Thanks again for watching, guys. We'll see you next week with The Two Towers Part 2. Guys, take it easy and have a good week.